These are various jaws that will come in handy on a milling machine. This would be for holding a round piece. This clamps onto the back jaw of the vise. This is good for holding various round pieces in several different orientations. These are long aluminum jaws, come in handy for holding difficult parts. They're soft jaws. They go on the milling vise, and these are custom ground, precision ground jaws for going onto the vise and milling machine. These match up with the holes in the standard milling machine vise. Also come in very handy. This is a little V-block fixture I made. These are 1/2" 13 holes. Put your studs in there. This clamps on and comes over and tightens down on whatever it is, the round piece you're trying to hold. This is a diamond tipped wheel dresser for a surface grinder. You'll need that if you're going to do any surface grinding whatsoever. Very expensive. This is a homemade boring bar. Homemade fly cutter for a milling machine. It takes a standard lathe carbide tipped tool. The fly cutter spins around whatever you do your cut. If you need to take a very large cut, this is an auxiliary piece. It slips into the channel here and makes it a much larger cut. Custom made by me, probably worth a few $100s at least. This is another custom made fixture by me. It's for aligning a tailstock on a lathe so you can accurately turn between centers. You put this, it's got center holes in both ends, put this between the centers on the lathe and you run an indicator up and down on it until you get 0, 0 on both ends. Again, custom ground, very expensive if you were to make it or buy it yourself. This is a little thing I designed and built for use on a Bridgeport mill. You put this into your electric drill. These line up with the table height adjustment crank, and you can crank your table up and down very quickly using your electric drill instead of your arm. This is a standard set of mill table clamps for a Bridgeport mill. All the threads have been rechased by me, so they work fine. It's a complete set. Comes in very handy. This is a long boring bar. Takes small tools on the end, or you can put lathe tools in there for angles. Good on the lathe. This is a large variety of drift pins. You will need these for popping drill chucks out or centers on lathes, and this is probably the most complete set in the world. This here is a KDK boring bar holder. It takes a 5C collet, fits a standard KDK. Here's the wrench for opening and closing. Whatever size collets you have, you can use that for holding boring bars, whatever. Again, cost a bit of money for that. This is a rusty, but that can be solved easily enough, lathe fixture. Lots of 1/4 20 holes on here with a few 1/2" 13 holes. This is for doing faceplate work on a lathe. I designed this and built this. This end here would fit into the jaws on the lathe. And then on here you would clamp using my little clamp set, whatever odd shaped piece it is that you had to do some lathe work on. Again, lots of work in this, lots of machining time. This is probably worth several $100s alone.